Hi, I'm Michelle Begue with a look at what's happening in Latin America now. But first, our news trivia. The music style bossa nova is derived from which classic Brazilian genre? We'll have the answer later. We start this week with breaking news from the region. Bolivia has arrested 2 of its top army leaders for an alleged coup attempt. This Tuesday, troops and tanks entered the Plaza Murillo Square, where the presidency and Congress are located. One of the tanks even tried to break down the door of the presidential palace. The now dismissed army chief, General Juan José Zúñiga, said the armed forces were attempting to restructure democracy to make it a true democracy. The uprising lasted 5 hours. Zúñiga was arrested, and the public prosecutor's office said it will start a criminal investigation against him. President Luis Arce announced 3 new heads of Bolivia's armed forces, and the Minister of Defense said it had reclaimed total and absolute control over its military. In Haiti, the first UN-backed contingent of foreign police have arrived this week. A couple hundred police officers from Kenya landed in Port-au-Prince on Tuesday. They're assigned to face off against the violent gangs who control 80% of the capital. The response to Haiti's request for help was delayed due to a struggle to find a country willing to lead a security assistance mission. Kenya stepped forward with a pledge of 1,000 soldiers. The Bahamas then committed 150 people, while Jamaica and Antigua and Barbuda are also willing to help. Now let's go to Mexico, where my colleague Al Baverstock has a special report.
The first named storm of the 2024 hurricane season, Alberto, left at least 4 people dead and caused widespread flooding across Texas and northeast Mexico. It was the first major weather event in what meteorologists predict will be one of the most active hurricane seasons ever recorded, with current forecasting at highs of 7 major hurricanes in the Atlantic and 4 in the Pacific. Ocean surface temperatures, a major factor in hurricane formation, are currently at record levels, a worrying sign as the region prepares. In October last year, it was a warmer than average Pacific Ocean that saw Hurricane Otis strengthen from a tropical cyclone to the strongest hurricane ever to form in the eastern Pacific in a record 12 hours, before going on to devastate the beach resort of Acapulco. As the region prepares for 2024's hurricanes, preparation will be key amid a more extreme global climate.
Colombia's government is starting peace talks with a 3rd guerrilla group this week. The group is called the Segunda Marquetalia, and they became visible in 2019 when former FARC peace negotiators returned to arms. The talks were announced in neighboring Caracas, Venezuela, with a ceremony that included government delegates and rebel leaders. They will engage in this first round of negotiations until June 29th. Ecuador's president has announced his country will begin building a new 800-person maximum security prison for its most dangerous inmates. The prison will be built in a record 300 days. The current prison system has the capacity to hold 30,000 prisoners, but the number of convicts is much higher. This is all part of the country's war against organized crime. Transnational cartels have been using Ecuador's ports to ship cocaine to North America and Europe. This has spiked violence in the once peaceful country. Now let's check out what stories we're following for next week. We're following Peru's President Dina Boluarte during her week-long state visit to China. She's the first Peruvian leader to visit China in 8 years, and experts say trade is high on her agenda. The last time Boluarte met with Chinese President Xi Jinping was last November at the APEC summit in San Francisco. Peru and China said they wanted to strengthen cooperation when it comes to their mineral and energy resources. They also want to foster a collaboration in areas like the digital economy and green development. And now the answer to our news trivia. The answer is B. Bossa Nova, which literally means new wave, was a blending of samba and jazz that rose out of a guitar school formed in Rio de Janeiro's Copacabana neighborhood in 1956. And fans of Bossa Nova, unlike many samba singers, were part of the Rio de Janeiro middle class that frequented jazz clubs. The lyrics of the songs would describe beaches, flowers, blue skies, and beautiful women. And that's it for this week. We'll see you again soon on Latin America Now.